That One Africa continue to struggle this year against violence and discrimination, but they also beat the odds, with women Maasai legislators in Kenya and the only female mechanic in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu.
Every year, African women fight to break down the barriers of entrenched gender and patriarchal biases. In South Africa, the issue of women's rights and femicide came to the forefront in 2017 with the brutal murder of 22-year-old Karaba Mokwena. Her burnt body was found in a field north of Johannesburg a day after she went missing and caused national outcry. South Africa has one of the world's highest rates of violent crimes. According to a 2016 Statistics South Africa's Demographic and Health Survey, 1 in 5 South African women older than 18 experience gender-based violence.
The biggest challenge in our country is that we talk, and nothing happens. And 6 months down the line, what happens? There's another man who kills a woman. There's another man who assaults a woman. So now, what we must do as men, we must stand up and go to government and start changing certain laws.
In neighboring Zimbabwe, a Human Rights Watch report showed women were evicted and dispossessed by their in-laws when their husbands pass away, in a custom that has long gone unchecked and unpunished for decades. While Zimbabwe's 2013 constitution protects the rights of women to own and inherit property, existing laws do not technically apply to widows in customary unions, which is the nature of the majority of marriages. In Liberia, it was the end of an era when the first African female head of state, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, stepped down after the end of 2 terms in office. Many hoped that Sirleaf would herald a win for women across the West African nation, but analysts say her legacy left mixed feelings. Johnson Sirleaf made tackling the education crisis and women's rights 2 of her top priorities in office. In Kenya, female politicians fought to raise women's representation and visibility in politics during 2017 polls. The East African nation has one of the region's lowest rates of political participation for women. Women struggle to make gains in the face of insults, violence, intimidation, and sexism in campaigns. The idea of female mechanics is not one that is common on the African continent, let alone in Somalia, a country where traditional and religious beliefs about gender roles are deeply entrenched. But 24-year-old Nasra Haji Hussein defied stereotypes by becoming the first female car mechanic in Mogadishu. Nasra didn't exactly choose the profession. An elderly father, a sick mother, meant at just 16 she had to start providing for her family. Finding work in Somalia isn't easy. The country's been without an effective central government for 26 years. Attitudes towards the role and place of women in African society continue to be challenged across the continent.